So 3 weeks after the fact, I still have lots of footage from my weekly pack that has never been released. So tonight we're going with the full cherry team. Now this one is a little bit strange because I did not set out to go for 5 cherries. In fact, I had a very clear idea of what I wanted to do at the beginning, and we're actually setting up for it already. I wanted to have 2 seahorses. Now, why would you bother having 2 seahorses when you don't have iguana? It's not that long ago I put out a iguana seahorse push video in which it's pretty clear why having multiple seahorses would be beneficial. But the reason I wanted to do a double seahorse run is because elephant blowfish and elephant guinea fowl were both very common builds to face in this weekly. So how does double seahorse work against that? Well, if you have a level 3 seahorse, you will mess up a elephant team where the elephant is at the front. So the seahorse will pull the back unit 3 spaces forward, and it will end up in between the elephant and the pet that it wants to hit. Now, as the week went on, more and more people became aware of this. They knew that there were going to be level 3 seahorses out there. And I started to face teams that were deliberately moving their elephant and guinea fowl or blowfish further back in the lineup. So this team initially was designed to combat those teams. I wanted to get a clip where the level 3 seahorse pulls a unit to the front, but my opponent has the elephant plus other pet in a different position. But then the level 1 seahorse will take care of any of those teams that tried to avoid the level 3. And hopefully we'll see that as the run progresses, and you'll actually get to see an example of what I mean. But normally, you wouldn't really bother doing something like this. It's only going to work in a weekly where those types of very specific lineups are going to be commonplace. Elephant blowfish is relatively common in customs, but in a custom pack, you can just take eggplant, and then you don't actually need to have seahorse at all. So we're doing all right here. We're on 4 hearts, 3 trophies turn 6. Although we are basically running just tier 1s and a couple of giraffes at this point. So we're going to need to find something else to improve the strength of our team, although we do tie here. And double level up turn 7 with 2 level 2 giraffes is pretty nice. We also have the rice on the fish, so we're going to get extra gold. And I get turkey, and then it's nurse shark or snapping turtle. So since I already have a cherry, I think I'm going to combine the giraffes and then take the nurse shark. So now we can start buffing all 3 of them. And yeah, nurse shark doesn't have to be behind the cherry anymore. It's weird doing that. You could... Previously, you would have had to put the nurse shark 3rd or 4th there. And it's actually just nice having nurse shark without having to worry about the pet getting pushed. Because that's obviously another problem with it. In the previous versions, if you only had access to cherry, you would be in danger of getting pushed in front of the cherry pet. So now you can see I'm starting to think about, yes, let's take some cherries for the nurse shark. But we could also end up in a situation where we can go for the full team of cherries. So we end up moving the rhino all the way to the back here, which is quite funny. And that means that the nurse shark gets to one-shot it. With the 3 cherries, you are going to get the maximum damage from the nurse shark. And here probably I could have just binned the turkey and taken separate nurse sharks. But we're going to go straight for the level 2. And I think I should just get rid of turkey now and bring in mammoth. And then we'll just keep freezing nurse sharks. And then probably, if I'm going to have a full team of cherries, that means I'm going to have 4 cherries left over from 1 trigger from the nurse shark. So there was something else in the pack that would fit the bill perfectly. So we're probably going to look for that. This team, I've messed the order up quite nicely. The guinea fowl ends up at the back, which means it can't generate any trumpets. So it's an easy win. And yeah, we'll just go for the level 3 seahorse. We still only have the level 2. Not normally best practice to be buying chocolate onto tier 1s, especially this late. But I think seahorse is an exception, especially in a weekly environment. This person has a nice Firefly themed username, and in fact they're going to beat us here, I think. I guess it might depend on the Nurse Shark snipes. I think we had to hit the Kangaroo there to potentially get a draw. We probably actually had to hit 2 specific units there rather than just 1. But with Nurse Shark level 2, obviously that's much less likely. And here, for some reason, I gave up on the Cherry. So maybe I had it in my head that I was going to go for the full Cherry team, but then I changed my mind. Or maybe I just decided that I really was determined to pill the Mammoth, and therefore we're going to keep the spaces open to find pill rather than freeze the Cherry. So we do mess this team up slightly, but not a massive amount. The Crane doesn't get to activate. I don't think it would have activated anyway, but actually we do scrape a draw. Crane plus Guinea Fowl doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because you're kind of denying yourself the extra triggers from the Guinea Fowl. Now here, for some reason, I decided to go for popcorn onto the Mammoth and then pill it. And I get the Komodo, which actually would work with the Nurse Shark. And in fact, I think the Giraffe with a higher attack would have gone first as well. So we could have had some extra scaling there, but I decided not to bother. And I'm just going to continue to feed my Mammoth pill addiction. Now this team with the Crane, we do mess up. I guess, yeah, we one-shot the Flying Squirrel there anyway, so it maybe wouldn't have mattered. Or did the Mammoth do enough damage that it would have made a difference? I didn't notice there, but I think moving a Crane away from a big unit is always a plus. Now here, I don't know why I didn't just take the Cobra and put it at the back. I just greeded and took the African Penguin for a tiny bit of extra attack on the units I want to keep. Because I think I'm looking for something specific, and maybe I've already gone past it. But another team here where we push a powerful unit further back. So the Seahorse gets to take a couple of kills before it deals with the Boar. I guess the Nurse Shark plus Seahorse is kind of synergistic in the fact that you're pushing the strong units further back, and therefore you're giving the Nurse Shark more of a chance to snipe them. If the Nurse Shark goes first and just is only targeting units at the back that have low stats, then the value is much lower. But if Seahorse is moving good stuff back, then you may get the Nurse Shark hit on something more important. Here's a team that's invested heavily into the trumpets, and we pull the Antelope all the way to second position, and then we push the Vaquita to the back so it doesn't get to generate any more trumpets. And actually they get Nurse Shark from the the popcorn there. I wonder if we could have lost that if we didn't have the Seahorse. So yeah, we do get the pill for the Mammoth. But now I'm on 9 wins. And at this point I've maybe realized that I've probably left it a bit late if I want to go for all cherries. But I am going to do it anyway and just play the 4 squad for now. And hope to tie or lose. This team looks pretty strong. Level 3 Turkey. We do mess up their White Tiger setup. But the Highland Cow level 3 on turn 15 is generating a lot of trumpets. So yeah, the Retriever is actually going to be too strong. It's pretty close though, considering that our team is 2 tier 1s, a tier 3 and a Nurse Shark. But we get the level up, and actually by sheer fluke we get Cherry and Wildebeest in the shop. So here with my last 6 gold I can buy the Wildebeest, buy the Cherry to get the full lineup. Generally not good practice to put Wildebeest 4th position, but since its stats are so poor I don't want to put it closer to the front. If it gets pushed by Seahorse, you could end up getting a 4 dog instead of the coconut activation. But even though we ruined this team's lineup, we prevented the Dodo from giving attack to the Cobra. We're still going to end up losing. The Wildebeest does get to trigger, but yeah, they were just a bit too strong. We're just going to buy, Pretzel only gives +2/2 there. And we can't take the pita bread because of the challenge, but I'll freeze the other things in case it's another tie. And finally we get presented with an elephant team, and you can see how it works. Elephant plus guinea fowl in second position would have avoided the level 3 seahorse, but the level 1 moves the guinea fowl to the back. They only get one trigger because the nurse shark does so much damage anyway. Very satisfying to finally get the correct opponent on the last turn. And here's some random bonus footage from Star Pack. This is from many of the Mantis Orca runs that I was doing the last few weeks. And the reason I include this one is because we have a level 3 blobfish here. Just by, I was really saving the blobfish for whatever came out of the Orca. But in this particular game, it ended up going all the way to level 3 and having huge stats from pelican buffs. And so I end up getting the blobfish badge. So I'm miles away from completing all the achievements before Unicorn Pack comes out, but that's another one off the list.